Eastern Conference? That you scheduled your wedding and even your child's birth around your school's game? Of course. But it means more than that. It means you're home to hundreds of Fulbright, Truman, Goldwater, and Rhodes Scholars. It means starting out as the birthplace of American public higher education, and now leading the way in unmanned spacecraft. This is the SEC, and here it just means more. What does it mean to be a part of the Southeastern Conference? That there's an honest-to-goodness chandelier in your tailgate tent? Perhaps, but it means more than that. It means pioneering medical solutions to predict new flu viruses. It means leading globally diverse teams to eliminate starvation in developing countries. And it means being home to one of the nation's top cybersecurity programs. This is the SEC. And here, it just means more.
WZZN, Union Grove, Huntsville, Alabama. 97.7 ESPN, The Zone. This hour is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, Alabama's F-150 Superstore. Welcome to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline, 256-576-4977.
That's how I roll. And I'm not going to drink and drive anymore.
That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Wes and Steve.
It's once again The Drive After Dark. We're live here at Woody Anderson Ford. Goodness gracious. It's always fun to be here in the showroom here at Woody Anderson Ford. Coming up on the program today, we will get you set for the Iron Bowl as Charlie Trottman is going to join us. Well, this is why you need to put on your headset before the music starts. Okay. Is that better?
No.
No?
Yeah, go ahead. This is like I'm not Helen Keller. Come on.
How are you, Wes?
I'm doing great. Good to be here. Woody Anderson Ford. There is a cool truck sitting in front of me. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it's
Army
called.
Green?
Yeah.
It's F-150. But it's got some decked out rims on it. I mean, it's ready to go.
There, no question.
It is ready to go. And the playoff committee is ready to go to let you know exactly what they think. Heather Dinich.
Heather, is there still a chance they can still have the Iron Bowl? There's a lot of craziness that can happen. Does Alabama still have a way to get in?
Absolutely, Greeny. All it takes is one upset, like Notre Dame losing to USC. And if that were to happen, according to the All-State playoff predictor, Alabama's chances would be 50.1% to get into the college football playoff. I mean, look, I had Indiana out of the bracket, and then Ole Miss and Alabama lost, and now they're back in. So who knows? What's the next upset?
You know, it's you say there's a chance.
Funny you go there.
You mean not good like 1 out of 100?
I'd say more like 1 out of 1,000,000.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
There you go. There you go.
I mean, but it's there.
Yeah, I mean it's there.
But the
I'm
first
surprised.
thing you'd have to do is take care of Auburn.
Yeah, well, yeah. They got to play a lot better. They won't.
Maybe the best description I've heard out of this team for Alabama is Sybil.
Yeah, well, nah, you know, I wouldn't insult Sybil like that. So here's this team is, to me at times, has looked like not only a good football team, one of the best in the countries. And at times they look like they forget how to tackle, they forget how to play. But it's all because there's so many freshmen out there. There's so many young players, first-year players, and freshmen.
Yeah.
And they start taking their toll, and all of a sudden you start having injuries. Some of their leaders have been hurt. Some of the guys that didn't play, even, you had 2 or 3 guys, you had at least 3 that hadn't started that were thrown into action. that here we are running the option again that they don't, you don't practice. I want to know how much they practiced what Oklahoma ran, because it didn't look like they practiced at all.
Or what Vanderbilt ran.
But and it's the teams that had a week off that, but you still got to prepare for those, and it's no excuse for the way they played on offense. Even though Oklahoma is a good defense, and what I was worried about happened, is it seems like to me when it doesn't come easy for this team, which they have a lot of talent, and sometimes it does come easy, but you're not always going to have your A game. I mean, you're just not. I don't care. When Coach Saban was there, we beat Auburn one time 55-45. I mean, sometimes you don't have your A game.
That was, in fact, that Iron Bowl, Bama was down by 2 scores going into the fourth quarter of that game. Blake Sims, I think, was the quarterback that year.
Blake Sims was the quarterback, and that's they were talking about pulling him in that game. And they had some injuries on the offensive line at that time.
Yep.
And, I think the Grant Hill came in and played unbelievable in that game.
Yeah.
Pat, God bless him.
Yeah.
He's no longer with us. But they had a lot of injuries, and Auburn had to kick field goals in the first half, and it wasn't for that. But you're not always going to have – the point is you're not always going to have your A game.
Yeah.
But you got to adjust. And this team just – when it doesn't come easy for them, or it seems like they just don't know how to handle that. And when things aren't coming easy, sometimes you just have to fight like the dog. And I think that's where they made the mistake, is we should have just started running straight at Oklahoma. Just mano a mano. Hey, we're going to whip their ass second half. And just run right at them, because they were
make you stop us.
Yeah,
and then
we'll all the
there.
X's and O's go out the damn door, And then all of a sudden you bring that safeties up, then you can throw it over their head, and that's what I think's missing. Is sometimes we get this team gets too involved with the scheme. When the quarterback runs for 130 something yards. And I don't think he had many yards in the fourth quarter.
No, he did not.
So it was like it took forever to figure that out. And finally, I was yelling, just tackle the quarterback. I mean, because people running by him. And, it's just, come on. Somebody hit the quarterback every play. I remember in high school, it was a long time ago, but if Larry had a good quarterback, we were sending somebody to hit him every play. Somebody was going to hit the quarterback. It's the easiest thing in the world to do, really, is somebody hit the quarterback. And guess what? Quarterbacks don't like to get hit.
No.
And I know Alabama's quarterback doesn't like to get hit much. And I think that's a problem that we have. Sometimes you just got to say, hey, when we had plays when I was at Alabama, a long time ago, though, but we had plays. We didn't care what defense they're in. We were going to run it. We could tell them it was going right here. We did sometimes. But that's the attitude you have to have. And I think that's what this team, if they ever get that attitude, 52 has that attitude. Although I saw him get whipped a couple times for the first time this year. Just not – whip might not be the right word, but –
beat.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I was that's what this team's missing, and hopefully they're going to find it. Because if they do – luck up and end up in the playoffs somehow. It ain't
fully capable.
It ain't going to matter if they go in there and because people are going to have 2 or 3 weeks to prepare for them as well. And we're going to see the whoopie pass from here to the time they put me in the ground. I can't believe nobody's run it until. I mean, I was so shocked.
Oh, Tennessee didn't.
Well, they didn't have to.
Yeah.
But some teams, if you have 2 weeks to prepare. That's a play that you just don't put in. Okay, I'm going to shovel pass it to you. It takes a little practice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's just – but you're going to see it, anybody that has 2 weeks, and I imagine Auburn's been saving that play as well. I would be if I was them.
52 is Tyler Booker.
Tyler Booker is one of the best offensive linemen I've watched all year. He's been dominant most of the year.
Only an hour today as we're walking up to Alabama basketball as the Crimson Tide are in action both tonight and tomorrow night. As tonight it's Alabama taking on Houston in Las Vegas. The game will be on television on TBS, so plan accordingly. But you can listen to, I assume, Chris, but I don't know that for a fact. But we'll all find out together. It may be Roger Hoover, for all I know. Anyway, let's go out to the phone lines at 256-576-4977. Charlie Trottman going to join us in less than 10 minutes. Philip is out of the gate. How are you, Philip?
I'm doing pretty good, guys. How y'all doing?
Doing real well.
I wanted to ask a question about something. Can you guys remember the last time Alabama got beat this bad? It had been maybe back to Bill Curry when he was coach, or Shula.
I'm sure there's maybe a Franchione game in there that I'm not thinking about. 2000, the year 2000 comes to mind.
I don't think we've gotten shut out before. I don't believe. At least I can't remember us ever getting shut out.
3 points.
We scored 10. I think
3.
this. It was 10. You called touchdowns back.
You were
supposed to be called back to me.
Alabama
10.
was shut out by Southern Miss in 2000.
Is that 21-0?
21-0.
How's that game?
Okay, I know.
Also shut out in the Iron Bowl that year. That was the 9-0 colder than you know what game.
Yeah, that game was like watching paint dry.
Yep.
Wow. I usually got a pretty good memory. I just don't remember those games, but
that 2000 really stood out in my mind. Hope that helps, Philip.
Okay. Well, let me ask y'all something else. How do y'all like our offensive coordinator?
You mean you're newly nominated for a Broyles Award, Coach?
So, I'm going to tell you.
That came out earlier this afternoon.
The only thing that bothers me is what I just said. Is sometimes you just got to run down their throat when nothing else works. If you're getting 6 and 7 yards on first down, if you're getting 4 or 5 on first down, keep doing it. Make them stop it. Sometimes these coaches get caught up in what their style points. You know what I'm saying? Instead of just
overthink themselves.
Overthink it big. And those guys knew our checks.
Yeah.
There was no question in my mind about that. And that's just good coaching. It's not like, Oklahoma did it to Auburn. They'll line up in something knowing that you're going to check, and then go and they know you don't have but 3 or 4 checks you go to.
Yeah.
And if you don't change them up, they know exactly what they are.
Philip, we've got a guest coming up. Do you got anything else for us, sir?
I think that's about it. You guys, y'all have a happy Thanksgiving. Don't eat too much.
Likewise. I don't know about that now.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that. Likewise to you and your family.
Y'all probably won't be back on until Monday, will you?
No. We're on tomorrow. We're on tomorrow. Yep. We are.
He's working all week.
Well, yeah.
Okay,
so there's that.
Well, guys, nothing else. We'll talk to you all on Monday. Because I know y'all probably won't be on Friday, will you, soon?
No, we will not be on Friday. We've got NFL football that afternoon, as well as that night. We've got the Georgia Tech game Friday night as well. Good old clean, old-fashioned hate coming up Friday night. That's what we call it.
I'm kind of nervous about the Iron Bowl, but I hope Alabama can pull it out. Well, good night,
Thank you,
guys.
Phil.
We'll see y'all later.
Let's take our first time out, and the one and only Charlie Trottman going to help us.
I get nervous with this game as well, always, because I know we beat them one time. We had no business beating them.
Charlie joins us next as we're live here from Woody Anderson Ford. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
If hunting and outdoor recreation are your passions, it all starts with the right property. That's where I come in. I am Bo Butler with Southland Realty and Auction, a hunting and recreational land specialist and a Jackson County native who sees land through a hunter's eyes. Just as you trust your guide on a big game hunt, you can trust me to find the perfect property for you. Thinking of selling? Let me help you make your land attract buyers. Remember, Bo knows land. Call me at 256-609-0512.
Ann Adams with Berkshire Hathaway Rise Real Estate is the one name to know if you're buying or selling real estate. With years of local experience, Ann Adams offers buyers in-depth knowledge of the local housing market and will narrow available properties down to those you'll be interested in so you can save time when shopping for your new home. If you're ready to sell, Ann offers a seamless process using accurate pricing and expert negotiation skills to make sure you get a fair price for your home. Call Ann Adams today at 256-337-2625 or log on bhhsriserealestate.com.
Tom Luganville here for my friends at Woody Anderson Ford. Bobby White and his team take great pride in their service department, and you can see it the moment you walk into those beautiful new service lanes. And just like a championship team, they all work together to make sure your experience is second to none, whether you drive a Ford or not. Also, check out the gold certified pre-owned inventory at Woody Anderson Ford for great deals every day. Stop by and see them at Jordan and Sparkman or at Woody Anderson of Madison on Hughes Road, or visit WoodyAndersonFord.com.
Flying nonstop from Huntsville is a breeze on Breeze Airways. They're nice people flying nice people to nice places on really nice planes. Let's be direct. Nonstop from Huntsville to the places you want to go. Las Vegas, Orlando, or Tampa starting at $49. It's time for a weekend getaway or a long overdue week away. Time to check in using the convenient Breeze app and check out. What are you waiting for? Book today at flybreeze.com. That's flybreeze.com. Breeze Airways. Seriously nice.
It's an amazing time in our industry. Things are changing so rapidly. With digital signatures and workflow software, we help our customers work from anywhere. This helps you save time and money and upgrade your technology. Like I said, it's an amazing time to watch our customers grow and succeed.
Just ask anyone. The Lion's Secret.
In the Army National Guard, soldiers serve part-time and close to home.
My community means everything to me. It helped shape me into who I am today, and is where I choose to raise my own family. That's why I joined the Army National Guard. I'm proud of where I'm from, and as a soldier, I get to give back to the people that helped me succeed. The education benefits I got from serving helped me get my degree and jumpstart my career. The training and leadership skills I've gained from the Army National Guard help me every day when I teach young people, help my neighbors, and look out for my community. I know that when my neighbors need us the most, my fellow soldiers and I will be ready. My family loves it here, and my part-time service means we get to stay here.
Serve part-time in the community you live in as a proud member of the Army National Guard. Talk to your local recruiter or visit nationalguard.com. Sponsored by the Alabama Army National Guard, aired by the Alabama Broadcasters Association and this station.
This segment of The Drive is brought to you by Woody Anderson Ford, located online at WoodyAndersonFord.com with 2 locations, Hughes Road in Madison and Jordan Lane in Huntsville.
Out here in the fields, I found my meals.
Well, if you happen to be out in the field right now, you need a light on because it's dark outside. The 89th Iron Bowl will be on these airwaves coming up on Saturday, as overall meetings in Tuscaloosa, this series is tied at 7 apiece between Auburn and Alabama. And joining us right now is former Auburn quarterback and Charlie Trottman, who's kind enough to join us. Charlie, how are you, sir?
Hey, Steve, Wes, how you guys doing?
We're good. We're good. But a little befuddled, too, because I think I've seen some really good football this fall. But at the same time, it's hard to kind of wrap my head around exactly what we've all watched this fall, Charlie.
Yeah, I mean, of course, the teams are different, and their seasons have been vastly different. I know a lot of Alabama fans were disappointed this past weekend in how they played at Oklahoma, but for Auburn, it's been a brutal year, and it's been a tough time. Close games with California and Arkansas and Oklahoma and Missouri, and just times that you just gave up the football, possession of the football with turnovers that allowed the other team to win at the end, and it was very frustrating for, I think, the players. I know that Hugh Freeze was frustrated, or is frustrated. It's just a difficult time, because the talent was there to win those games. There were certain, of those games where just right at the end, it happened to be one play, maybe an interception in the Oklahoma game, or a fumble in the California game, and in the Arkansas game. It just, that came down to not being able to do anything with the football at the end of the game. So Auburn's offense this year has struggled mightily, and there are many reasons for that. One of them is not the quarterback so much as it is the offensive line. The offensive line has really been poor in pass protection in most of the games. Now, in some of the games, they've done okay. They did pretty well the other night against Texas A&M. But
I was about to say that was the best they played.
That's the best they played, Wes. You're right. And they haven't had a really good pass protection game up until then. And, Peyton Thorne has felt that. And people are, critical of him and, say that, he's had, an inconsistent year, which he has. But a lot of that's caused by pressure. And, it's kind of a unique thing that quarterbacks, invariably play poorly when you put pressure on them. No matter how good they are, they're gonna, succumb to maximum pressure. So,
but wouldn't you say though that people that Auburn dropped a lot of passes early in the year as well?
Some, Cam Coleman had a couple of balls kind of carry him off his hands, into interceptions. And that was frustrating because, he's a good receiver, really talented. And, he can be spectacular at times, but, he dropped a couple of passes early and could have caught them, would have made a big difference in the outcome of the games. And, and then the field goals, guys, and special teams, alive. Auburn probably is one of the, and I have to give, the young man credit who came from Birmingham Southern and just, tried out for the team after he saw the struggles that Auburn had. We had a really good field goal kicker, and he got sick and, lost a lot of weight, was under 100 pounds, very sick, came back and he's only able to kick in the Kentucky game for a little bit. But Towns Magoo, who's a highly recruited kid out of Auburn, was 7 out of 7 in the spring game and kicked one from 61 yards. And then, just kind of have like a golfer gets the yips. He just has the yips, and he could not find the distance between the goalposts.
Sounds like to me, he has a good-looking girlfriend.
Well,
and Steve sends you the kicker. The kicker's from Huntsville.
Yeah, the kicker is actually from Madison Academy.
And Steve does their games.
Madison Academy. That's
you got to thank Steve for the kicker.
Ian Vachon. He's an athlete, by the way. He's an athlete. He told me himself that Ian's an athlete.
Yeah, he missed one field goal, but it was well kicked. he struck it well. There were kicks this year that have not been struck well, but anyway, my point is, there's 3 phases to the game, and Auburn did not play well in 2 of the phases. Auburn defensively has been pretty good most of the year. Now in the second half, they weren't very good against Texas A&M, but they've been pretty good most of the year. Offensively, we haven't scored many points, and then in the kicking game, we've had struggles.
I mean, I can't imagine. My brother graduated from Auburn, Charlie, and even up 21-0, he texted me and said, "Okay, when is this pumpkin going to turn back into Auburn football here in 2024?" So I mean, it just even up by 3 touchdowns. I'm hearing it. So
I mean, most teams, if they were up by 3 touchdowns, you'd be wondering what the final score was going to be. 60-something to 20 or something.
But name the score
instead of just going ahead with the blowout. I mean, it turned. It was a tale of momentum, and Auburn had a lot of momentum early in the game, and then Texas A&M and their quarterback had a super second half, and they're talented, man. I mean, Texas A&M, they are a talented bunch, and Mike Elko done a pretty good job with them, and they're I'm glad that we don't have to play them again because they're tough.
Yeah, they're just going to get better, and that's why I say the offensive line to me played really well. To me,
I thought they did.
The only time they got to the quarterback was when they blitzed 5 or 6, and they had that blitz coming off between the tight end, delayed linebacker blitz that was very effective the second half, especially. But other than that, and that's on the quarterback has to, you got to find somebody on there.
Right.
But when he has time, though, he's played well. I think the quarterback's played well when you give him time.
He's not a bad quarterback when he's got time. He can throw the ball, but no quarterback does very well under pressure. But I'm talking about severe pressure. Some quarterbacks, can move around in the pocket like Tom Brady and make time for yourself. But other quarterbacks, when they get pressure, they start looking down at the pressure instead of downfield at the receivers, and makes a big difference. But the offensive line, the only thing they did bad, and you could speak to this, Wes, is being a center, you probably saw your guards and tackle jump off sides several occasionally, and probably frustrated you. But Auburn jumped off sides like 5 times against Texas A&M. It was illegal procedure. I thought, might have ended up being the death knell for the team.
It was close. You're right about that, because 77 would jump off sides and hit himself in the head 2 or 3 times. That's what I love, the old head thing. What you're supposed to do is jump off sides and point at the guy across from you.
Come on, sell it.
He's
to me, Jeremiah. Sell it to me.
Don't hit yourself in the head 2 or 3 times, and they know you were the one that did it. Right? You point at the guy across from you and act like he's the cause of it.
Right. Yeah. Jeremiah Wright.
Yeah, you never do. I saw somebody else do it too this way.
Yeah, he's a tough young man, but he was hard on himself on that one.
He was really hard. He kept hitting himself in the head. But he's trying. He's playing against a guy really good, and you're trying to get off the ball. You don't want losing a 5-yard penalty is bad, but getting sacked is worse.
Yeah.
And I get what he was going through, and you can't do that. You're right. But to me, the fact that they had to drive the field to win the game, to tie the game, to send in overtime, they did it.
Yeah,
they did.
To me, that was big. That was
has
big
not
league.
been the case this year. We had a
right.
chance to do it against. We had a chance to do it against Missouri. We had a chance to do it against Arkansas. We had a chance to do it against California. We just couldn't do it. And Auburn has struggled, and this game this weekend is going to be very, very interesting because you don't know which team is going to show up for Auburn or Alabama. And
That's the truth.
you know, now Alabama has been more consistent.
I don't know. I think Alabama has more older talent.
They
than Auburn does. Older talent, not more talent, but more older talent. And that's been the difference in their games. And I think the quarterback, when he's playing, is a game changer at Alabama. He's a special. He has a chance to be great. He's not gotten there, and it's frustrating to watch at times, no doubt.
Well, he's got a great arm. He throws a deep pass as well as anybody. He's the best running quarterback in the country. And if you don't concentrate on him and you don't have a stellar defense, see, Oklahoma's offense is just average, but their defense is really, really good. And
they're elite.
And their ability to stop the run, was remarkable because no one's been able to do that to Milroe. And I don't know if Auburn can figure out how to stop the run or not. But you got weapons all over the field for Alabama, and Auburn's got some weapons too. They just have not been able to utilize their weapons the way that Alabama's been able to do it. And they're playing in Tuscaloosa. That's going to be tough. And Alabama is always, going to be, defending their home field. And, they got the crowd on, and it's going to be a difficult environment for Auburn because Auburn, like you said, they have so many young players. I mean, from defensive linebackers, secondary, they're all freshmen and sophomores. And, the only really senior, we have senior quarterback and senior running back and maybe a senior tight end in Fairweather. And that's about it.
What Alabama's had trouble with, the three teams that have beat them have been able to run the ball.
Well, and the shovel pass too.
Well, that's running the ball though.
Yeah,
I mean it's a pass. But
have you seen Auburn run the shovel pass this year? I have not.
No, we're not going to talk about that. But Charlie came up with the best name for this. This isn't the Iron Bowl this year. This is the Box of Chocolate Bowl.
Yeah, you don't know who you're going to get. I mean, is Alabama? And the other thing too, guys, I think whichever team gets out to a really good start is going to be important because if Auburn goes in there and Alabama gets a start like Auburn did against A&M or Alabama did against Georgia, game over. I mean, because Auburn's offense is not tailored to come back from a 17 or a 21 point at deficit. But
if they have to throw the ball,
that's
bad.
Yeah, if Auburn could get ahead by 10 or something like that early in the game and build some confidence, then the game might be a fourth quarter game. So it's really who gets off to a really good start because, there have been some teams that you scratch your head and you wonder how they stay close to Alabama in Tuscaloosa. Like, of course, South Carolina's turned out to be a really good ball club, but that was a surprising game to me. I thought, Alabama was going to handily win that game. And
it looked like it at the first half they were about to till they went forward on 4th and 14 from the 30 and scored a touchdown, and that changed the game.
Right.
So that's what you can't let that. That's the kind of stuff you cannot let happen.
Right.
That's how you lose games. I mean, that's how Ole Miss. Think about Ole Miss is in the fourth quarter was ahead in the LSU game and the Kentucky game, and it was fourth and not long, 8 or 9 yards on the -19. They both went for it and got it.
Yeah,
and I mean it changed their season. Those drives changed their season.
Well, if something else that stood out to me, Charlie, in the last game against Texas A&M is the consistency that we've seen out of Oscar Chapman wasn't there on Saturday. And that could potentially be a big, big factor on Saturday.
It could, Steve, because Oscar's been very consistent.
Very.
Auburn's had to punt the ball a lot this year, and he's been really consistent. And something happened to him in that game. I don't know what it was, but he kicked one ball and it went completely off the right side of his foot, and I think it went like maybe 9 yards. And
I think it was a 9-yard punt.
He's dating the twin sister of the kicker.
And then the other thing he did is the next punt, he dang almost missed the ball. Kicked it straight to the left, and only went a few yards. So he kicked one straight after that, and the fans went nuts because he kicked the ball between the side between the
kept it in
sidelines.
play. Yeah,
kept it in play, and nobody, But the thing that I look for in this game is I look for the big chunk plays, because that's what Alabama's been doing this year, and that's what Auburn when they're good, when Auburn's good. Whether it's a running play or whether it's a pass play, they've been able to get chunk yards. Now, they're not a 3 yards in a cloud of dust type team that, is going to have a 12 and 14 play drive. And, Auburn's more like a 5-play, drive for a touchdown, and if they get a big play here and there. And Alabama's been that way. So which team steps up from a defensive standpoint can stop the run, and I dare say force Alabama to throw the ball, because maybe that's the secret syrup that Alabama uses to beat Auburn. But that's what you got to do in the SEC is you got to stop the run on the other team, and if you can do that, then you can generally put them in a situation where you put a little pressure on the quarterback and maybe get an errant throw here and there. But, as all Auburn-Alabama games go, mistakes. Think about the Auburn-Alabama game when Auburn had a punt return and fumbled the punt return.
Yeah.
The things when who was it? Tank Bigsby that ran out of bounds. If he stayed in bounds, those
always little plays.
Yes, it's things like that you can look for that turn games around, and they always have in the Iron Bowl.
Is this the game? It's always some obscure player, maybe Damari Alston or something.
Who's the linebacker that says he's never lost at Auburn? That says he's never lost a rivalry game.
Well, he's never played He's never. I don't know.
Yeah, he's a freshman.
He shut his mouth. But Riddick is his name.
That's right. That's right.
16.
Number 16.
He's a very, very talented kid, but he's a little bit too boisterous. You don't say that kind of stuff in the Iron Bowl, but that's right up there on top of everybody's locker tomorrow. So,
but at least to me though, Charlie, every single time I think Auburn is playing decently well, not necessarily just in the wins. I take a look at Hunter's stats, and he's always got at least 25 carries. He had 28 in the win over A&M. I feel like that is just what needs to happen Saturday if you're rooting for the Auburn Tigers, is that we need to see Jarquez carrying the ball at least 25 times.
Yeah, I think that's Auburn's secret sauce. That's their recipe for success is getting the ball to Jarquez as often as you can and allowing Jarquez's success on the ground, if he has success on the ground, to open up some throwing lanes for Auburn. That's kind of the way that they've been effective. But there were teams that they couldn't run against. Auburn against Vanderbilt, of all teams, Auburn could not run the ball against Vanderbilt, and it threw them completely off. They scored 7 points, lose the game and have an awful offensive game. So it's if he doesn't have a representative game. Now, I'm not saying he has to have 100 yards or he has to have 25 carries. You know, if he had 18 carries for 85 yards or something like that, I mean, you know, that could be a really good game for Auburn if they complement that with a decent kicking game and with a good passing game. But he's to me. Now, to me, people will say, "Oh, well, Cam Coleman's got more talent, or so and so's got more talent." But I think Jacquez Hunter is Auburn's best game player. He's the best player they have in game time.
I'm not sitting here thinking that he's going to be Trey Smith, but I feel like he has been consistent enough where he's got to be that first option. From a Hugh Freeze standpoint, how important is this for his health in staying down on the Plains? Because last year I know was painful, but there was a lot of, you know, it's year one.
If Auburn, I mean, I don't know how to say this nicely, but you know, Hugh Freeze, if he wasn't having a great recruiting year,
he'd be in a lot of trouble.
Different story.
No question.
But everybody's waiting for him to get this recruiting class signed and at Auburn and playing next year. And everybody thinks that, you know, next year is going to be the year that they turn the page and get a better record out of the competition in the SEC than they've had. I mean, you know, it's pretty difficult to watch if you're an Auburn fan and you know that you're good enough to win. You know, it's different when somebody, if you were a Vanderbilt or some other teams that have not Kentucky in the past, you know, that you're just not as good as other teams and you're getting beaten. That's one thing. But when you feel like that, you know, if you just didn't make the mistakes that you made, that you could have won the game, you know, you wonder, is that the player? Is it the you know, the Jimmies and the Joes, or is that coaching? Or, you know, it makes you start thinking, you know, and as you're a fan, if you're a fan and you don't know, you kind of scratch your head and say, well, Peyton Thorne should be better this year than he was last year. His numbers are not that different, but you know, he's just not been any more consistent than he was really last year. So, and then you see there times when in the last few games, and Coach Freeze will say, well, Peyton Thorne's been really solid. Well, maybe he has, but the Auburn offense was averaging like 13 points a game.
No, and Charlie, to your point, he's got great numbers. He's got great numbers, but this is what makes it so complicated to really dive into, because the situational awareness of throwing it 3 yards on a 3rd and 6 or just
I'm going to tell you, he's had a lot of unfortunate things happen. First of all, they haven't protected very well.
No, they haven't.
At times. They've got a lot of untimely penalties. They've had, and a lot of passes have been deflected. A lot of routes when you throw to a spot and you think he's going to be at the spot and he's not there.
That's happened to Auburn a bunch this year. But
yes, exactly.
You know what? To me, and Peyton may have thrown the ball to the right place.
Exactly.
And it still got intercepted or something like that. But to me, that's still coaching. You know,
I agree. I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, your receiver's got to be where he's supposed to be.
So, Charlie, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
And you're right. The receiver has to be. You have to be on the same page with the quarterback. And
Absolutely.
you got to. And Coach Freeze said that as much in the post game of the first game that Auburn lost against. I think it was California.
Yeah.
This goes to this point though. How much of this do you think? Because Auburn's, like you said, playing a lot of young guys. Are they playing a lot of young guys though? As a for next year kind of thing, where they're going, and that's what he's trying to get through this year to next year, and just live and die with these players.
No,
do you think some of that's going on, or is this a have-to thing?
I don't think, Wes, that's what it is. I think he has put what he believes are the players that give them the best chance to win. And I think that's why he's stuck with Peyton at quarterback. He feels like, he says at practice, there's no question that Peyton is the better player. And so he feels like he's putting the most representative group on the field that he can. Now, when you put a guy who's a 5-star receiver on the field and you throw him a slant and it goes through his hands and it gets intercepted, I mean, what do you do? I mean, how do you mentally absorb that as a coach? Do you say, well,
and as a team,
guy out there, or he's just young?
I think they put too much. They tried to throw too much at him too soon.
Yeah,
because I mean, it's just not once. It's happened at least 4 times that I've watched.
Yeah,
where that it's gone through his hands for picks.
Yeah,
and there are big times in the game because he was open when he hit him.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to say the pass was perfect. Maybe it had a little too heat on it, but he should have caught it. And a couple of those he catches, maybe touchdowns. He's going to have a big play. The guy's talented. There's no question, but I'm wondering if they put too much on that kid too soon.
Yeah. Well, he's been inconsistent, and he's come on in the last few games.
Oh yeah, well he helped win the game last week.
You can kind of see him
with his legs. Big play with his legs.
Grow, you can see him grow and get mature. Each game he's get a little bit better. So maybe you're right. Maybe it was too soon to
because they could see potential is different. Yeah, people handle things, and I don't care what you do in practice; it's different in the game. Because in practice, you kind of know what they're going to do.
Yeah, you get a guy like Ryan Williams, and he's just a generational player. I mean, how do you figure
can't teach that.
17 years old when he's the best player on the field.
He is the best when the ball's in the air, and when he's close to the sideline. I've never seen anything like it. I mean, he looks like he's going to go out of bounds, and he doesn't. I don't know how.
His uncanny ability to break tackles when he catches the ball, and
because he's not very big,
how to run and score when people are still between him and the goal line.
He doesn't look like he's running either, but nobody seems to ever catch him. So I don't know.
No,
it blows my mind they don't throw the ball to him more deeper. Deep. When he's man to man deep, I'd throw it. He's going to come up with it most of the time. Anyway, the other thing, Charlie,
I remember in the Tennessee game, he got hit from the back. And most people, not only would it have jarred the ball loose, but it would have hurt most players the way that he got hit in the ribs and almost like cut in two. Held on to the ball, first down, big play, and didn't even look like it fazed him.
Yeah, it hurt him. I guarantee you it hurt him.
I mean, unbelievable.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think the hits have kind of caught up with him. He's not a very big guy.
No.
He looks like now he's getting smarter about that and picking and choosing when he tries to go. The other point, Charlie, is going to be interesting to me, and because I don't think recruiting. Do you think if Hugh Freeze goes 7-5 next year that he won't be in big trouble?
I think he will be.
So this is what I'm going to tell you.
I think he'd be in trouble. I mean, when's the last time Auburn's had a really good year? I mean, it's been a while.
2017 immediately, I want to say that, but I mean,
yeah. I mean, I can't remember what Auburn's record was in 19 with Bo Nix, but I mean, they just had. It's been a long time, guys, for Auburn fans. It's been a long time. I mean,
so this is what I'm going to tell you though. He's having a good recruiting class, but that's not going to win next year. Right?
No.
He's two more things have to happen. He has to hold on to the team he has.
Yeah.
And he has to go find a quarterback. You can't take a freshman quarterback and win in this conference. And they prove it every week.
It doesn't appear that you can. It does not appear that you can.
Well, 2019 was a 9-win season, and that was the last time that Auburn beat Alabama was 2019.
Yeah, and so, you just think of the frustration. I mean, guys, the thing that it wasn't just the way the 4th and 31 in the Alabama game, and it wasn't just the New Mexico State game, but it was the Maryland game.
Yeah,
I mean, in the bowl
game,
I mean,
awful.
Auburn didn't even show up, and so you just start wondering if you feel like that, and everybody feels this way, but not everybody gets to enjoy it. But if you feel like your team should be a competitive team in the SEC, and those kind of things are happening to you, you just it turns your stomach. It really does.
Well, Charlie, enjoy that turkey on Thursday.
Charlie, have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Thanks for
coming on.
For coming on and hopping on.
It's really fun. It's really fun for me to talk to you. I know that, for us to talk to you.
Well,
absolutely, we love it.
Y'all are great. And look, have a great Thanksgiving. Give your best to your families. Give them. Let me give them my best. And y'all just enjoy yourselves, and let's have a good game on Saturday.
Sounds good, Charlie.
Thank you, Charlie.
See you soon.
Well, let's go ahead and take our final time out, and we've got Bama basketball coming up at the top of the hour. Final call for phone calls. We're live here from Woody Anderson Ford. We'll be right back.
You're listening to The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
Are you tired of power outages disrupting your life? It's time for a Generac standby generator from Current Electrical. Storms may rage outside, but inside your family's powered up. So why choose Current Electrical for your generator needs? 1, we offer a wide range of models to suit every budgeted energy requirement. 2, our project managers handle every step of the process: power, gas, permitting, and inspections. 3, our certified technicians install your generator with precision, ensuring peace of mind. Don't wait for the next blackout. Call 256-880-1880 or visit us online at jetsuperstore.com.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here have trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up. The new Cheeseburger Bobby's on Carl T. Jones Drive in South Huntsville is focused on serving great food prepared with the absolute freshest ingredients, featuring classic hamburgers and cheeseburgers with lots of specialty options, chicken and hot dogs, even turkey burgers and veggie burgers, along with fresh cut fries, onion rings, or coleslaw. Always fresh, never frozen, except for the frozen custard. See all the delicious options at Cheeseburger Bobby's for yourself. Check out the menu and more at cheeseburgerbobbies.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. We're going to drop into the upper 30s, lower 40s as we head into the overnight early Wednesday morning. Temperatures climb into the low and mid 60s Wednesday afternoon. For the most part, we're talking about a mostly cloudy to overcast sky with dry conditions. Good news if through Wednesday afternoon you're going to be traveling about the Tennessee Valley, getting last minute shopping done, or maybe to go see family and friends for the holiday. The bad news is that the rain builds into the area as we head into the later part of Wednesday evening and then through the overnight. Unfortunately, it looks like rain is going to stick with us through a good chunk of the day on Thanksgiving. We're going to be reasonably warm on Thanksgiving, temperatures climbing into the upper 50s and lower 60s. The rain comes to an end as we head into the overnight and then early into your Black Friday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio, 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
A big tip of the cap there to John Abraham, a.k.a. Captain Cool, running us back at the ranch as we're live here at Woody Anderson Ford. We'll be at Baumhauer's tomorrow, the Padre. I'm going to miss the Padre tomorrow. It'll be you, Drew, and the Padre for an hour.
What a great person he is.
But you're not completely void of me tomorrow because I'm walking you up to the drive tomorrow as UH Charger basketball on the road in Memphis. Excuse me, not Memphis, Nashville.
What about Memphis beating Connecticut?
Yeah. And then the
Auburn game
temper
last night.
tantrum thrown there by Coach Dan Hurley. Anyway.
I didn't see that. I had to watch that.
Yeah.
I watched Auburn play last night in basketball. Didn't have a very good first half. Really missed the first half. Watched the second half. That is the best defensive performance that I've seen in a long time.
I'll have to go back and check that out.
They played so hard and so smart.
I'm excited to see tonight's game against Houston.
On a tip in.
Yeah.
The end of the game in the fourth quarter.
Alabama Houston tonight should be fun to listen to.
No question.
As that pregame starts here in 5 minutes. Let's talk to Mark first up. Hey, how are you, Mark?
Hey, I'm doing well. How about you guys?
Doing well.
Well, I just wanted to say Alabama still has a shot at the playoffs. I don't care what anybody says out there. And by the way, one thing that's not talked a lot about is Auburn needs to fear the bomb.
Yeah, fear the what? You kind of broke up right there. Fear the what? Oh, you're still breaking up right now.
Oh, man.
Come on, Mark. Say it out loud.
We're going. It's the fifth straight win against Auburn.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, we get it.
Oh, no. Wait.
I called Terrible today.
Yeah.
Asked him the one for the phone.
You want to go ahead and tell them what you're going to do? No. If should Bama win on Saturday?
Send him a picture of my phone.
Just send him a picture of your
my
thumb.
buddy. Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Thank you. We were breaking up.
Bryce.
So, yeah.
Yes, a thumb will be sent. Anyway,
yeah.
I can get you a toe. How you doing, Bryce?
Well, not. I've been better. I've been worse. But however, I want you two to give me some faith after last Saturday night. Why should I be convinced that we can win the football game Saturday?
I'm not going to convince anybody.
No, I have no idea.
I'm going to convince you.
If
you know what's happening Saturday, you're a better man than I am. I have no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, like Charlie shouldn't have said it any better. It's a box of chocolate. I mean, you never know what you're going to get.
So let me ask you a question, Bryce. I'm going to make this easy for you. How much would it be worth for you to see Alabama beat Auburn by more than 11?
Well,
how much would you pay? How much would you pay to see Alabama beat Auburn by more than 11?
I wouldn't pay nothing because I'm really disappointed the way they went up and laid the egg.
Well, we're all disappointed. I just asked you a question. So you wouldn't pay Alabama, you wouldn't pay any amount of money to see. I'm trying to make this easy because, like, if you said it was worth $500 for you, then you ought to bet $500 on Auburn. That way,
because that's 11 and a half.
Yeah, then you might middle.
That's good. You're real smart. That's why where you're at. But you ain't gonna cut me on that deal.
I'm not trying to take you. I'm just trying to.
No.
I'm just kidding.
I know, but that's good. I never seen it put like that way. But
yeah,
so
I've done it several times.
Saturday, I'm scratching my head after Saturday. I had no idea. I mean,
we got out coached. It's not. We got out coached.
You got out coached.
We
You got out played. You got out hustled. They wanted it more than we did. They don't have heart like they did when you and Christian Miller were playing. It don't mean nothing to them. I think it's all about the money, and I was afraid it was going to come to this, guys.
It's all about the money for all of them.
Thank you, Bryce.
It's just not the Alabama guys.
I appreciate it.
Well, they're too young to handle them. Most people are. So
I'm just going to wrap this up here. You want 40 seconds of Natty Dan?
Sure.
Natty Dan, you have 40 seconds. The floor is yours, sir.
Yeah, we spent a lot of money on a quarterback. I know what you guys are talking about. It's ruining the game. It's awful. Alabama, if they win and win big, they're in the playoffs. If they win by a little bit, I don't think they make it.
That's fair. I can't believe they're still having a chance.
Yeah,
you're telling me there's a shot.
You're telling me there's a chance.
Yeah.
There's a shot. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
the thumb.
Wolverines are going to get bulldozed. They're going to be hosed. It's going to be
Alabama
Well, I hope
basketball.
Michigan beats Ohio State.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
Make my year.
Alabama basketball is next. A big thank you to Woody Anderson Ford for hosting us.
What does it mean to be a part of the Southeastern Conference? That you scheduled your wedding and even your child's birth around your school's game? Of course. But it means more than that. It means you're home to hundreds of Fulbright, Truman, Goldwater, and Rhodes Scholars. It means starting out as the birthplace of American public higher education, and now leading the way in unmanned spacecraft. This is the SEC, and here it just means more. What does it mean to be a part of the Southeastern Conference? That there's an honest-to-goodness chandelier in your tailgate tent? Perhaps, but it means more than that. It means pioneering